Well, hello. Today you find me in Dover. While I'm here, I'm going to be sharing 5 tips that I think will help improve your black and white photography. I've never really done any kind of photography in Dover. It's always been an end point to a coastal walk or a starting point. Dover isn't really known as a seaside resort town. There's obviously the Dover docks and there's a big marina here. There is a little bit of a promenade with a pebble beach, but people don't really come here for the beach activities because there really aren't any. I thought it would be an interesting way to spend a few hours this afternoon just wandering around and seeing what I can photograph and creating a little set of black and white photos that really sort of capture the essence of this area. I particularly like the Victorian buildings. They're very grand. There's some nice architectural detail to capture there potentially. And we've got the castle on the hill. That's sort of interesting. I don't think I'll have time to walk up there today though. While I'm here, I'm going to be sharing 5 tips. I hate saying tips, 5 thoughts that I think will help improve your black and white photography. Looking around social media, it's clear to me that black and white photography is really coming back in vogue. And I think part of this is because of the increasing popularity with street photography. Black and white is perfect for street and documentary style photography. Of course, you know, back in the 50s and 60s when a lot of the famous street photographers that we study today were shooting, that's all that was available anyway, right? I was talking to a friend this week and he said, "You've done a lot of black and white photography over the years. Why don't you put some tips together and share some of your knowledge and what you know about black and white, because you know, so many people are getting into it. That would be really helpful." And I'm always reluctant to do these top 5 or top 7 top tips and things pros know and all this sort of stuff. It's not really why I'm on YouTube. I want to just walk around and record my little outings, but I've been persuaded to share 5 tips, not top tips, not pro tips, just things that I consider and I do when I'm doing black and white. And if they help you, they help you. If not, just enjoy the video for the pretty views and a few interesting pictures of Dover. Many of these little tips, thoughts, apply to colour photography as well as black and white actually, particularly this first one, and that is cameras. Don't get wrapped up in getting the latest, fanciest camera with all the auto eye tracking focus technology and all that stuff and focus stuff. You just don't need a fancy camera for black and white photography. The more basic, the better. The smaller, the better for street travel and documentary. You want a little camera that doesn't really get noticed. It's easier to carry around, less obvious. You can take more candid shots of people. That's it. It's just bare bones basic camera is perfectly fine for black and white photography. Which brings me on to point number 2. Lenses. For black and white photography, I find I just need a couple of prime lenses and that's it. A 28 or 35, a 50mm, and if I know I'm going somewhere to do portraiture, sometimes I'll take an 85mm as well. But that's it. These YouTube photographers tell us we need the holy trinity of zoom lenses to cover all focal ranges. Complete and utter nonsense. They have affiliate links and they're just trying to sell you stuff. I think if you've got too much choice, too much focal length choice, well, first of all, that kills creativity. And you're going to spend more time thinking about what focal length to use than actually taking a creative photo. That can't be a good thing. Not only is it expensive, carrying 3 big heavy lenses around is just ridiculous. Particularly for travel and street photography, a big no-no. Too much focal length choice is just going to kill your creativity. It's going to make you lazy and slow you down as well. My go-to lenses right now are 28mm and 50mm. Done. I'm ranting on about this, so I'm going to get into point 3, which is, I've forgotten. I just came up with these on the bus on the way over here, so I've just remembered what point 3 is. Context, which sort of goes back to the lenses actually, because again, on YouTube land, we're told that we need really, really fast lenses, f1.2 and even faster now. And as nice as they are for things like travel and street and documentary, shooting wide open like that, you're not showing any context. I find I'm shooting most of the time f5.6 or 8 or even 11, because if I'm doing a street scene, for example, I want to show the subject, but I want to show the environment the subject is in. I want to show context, and because that's part of the story. I'm going to take a seat. I'm getting worked up here. Super fast lens, really cool and trendy thing to have. But if you're photographing somebody outside and you want to tell a story and only their eyeball is in focus and the entire background is blurred out, kind of as much use as a chocolate teapot. A fast lens is a nice to have, but not a necessity. Point number 4, in order to create fantastic black and white photos, we need to learn to see in black and white. We need to learn to see light and shade, to see tones, textures and patterns. Most important for me is taking away the distraction of colour so we can focus on emotions, mood and story. Now this is where modern cameras do have the advantage over older cameras, because to help you see in black and white, if you're not used to it, you can actually turn the EVF and the monitor to monochrome with a simple setting in your camera's menu. So you can actually look through your viewfinder or your monitor and actually see black and white in front of you. So you can just focus on those tones and shades and light. But the cameras are still shooting in color. They're just allowing you to see monochrome. When you put them into the computer, you still have to convert them to black and white. So some people like that, but with time, if you shoot enough black and white, you learn to see things in light and dark and tones anyway. You can train your mind to block out color and not let it distract you when you're composing your photo. And here's a nice shot right now, I think, of this building. I'm going to be honest, this is not working out very well. I come out on these little trips to enjoy walking around taking photos. I'm happy to run the GoPro and film a little bit, but trying to talk about tips and thoughts and stuff and run off a list it's totally thrown me off of the day. I haven't enjoyed the day so much, so I'm going to have to rethink this whole format. Maybe I need to do a magazine style format video where I'm talking about tips and sort of educational type stuff at home, and then I just film me walking around and talking about where I'm at, because I've not even spoken about Dover, given you any facts, really shown you around properly. And part of the idea of me going out with my camera is to create a little bit of a mini guide for these sort of places. But mind you, Dover, there's not much here. It is a bit of a dump, I'm going to be honest. It's a bit of a dump and some dodgy characters around here, that's for sure. So maybe that's part of the reason why I'm just not getting into it today. Anyway, I'm going to give you tip number 5, thought number 5, and then I'm going to wander around for another half an hour, 45 minutes, and see if I can shoot any more. I've got a few shots, but not a lot. So tip number 5. filters. This has been a bit of a ranty video so far, and it's going to continue to be a ranty video with this point, because if you've seen any of my videos in the past where I talk about filters, certainly for color digital photography, you know how much I hate them, and I think they're a complete pointless waste of time, other than a circular polarized cutout reflection, because you can't do that in Photoshop. And also, if you like to use a 10-stop and do really long, arty, minimalist photos, then that's fine too. These neutral density graduation filters and all of that nonsense, rubbish. Anyway, I'm getting distracted again. For black and white photography, forget everything I've just said. You do need a few filters if you want to do good black and white photography, either with a film camera or you're using a monochrome sensor. And the two filters that I swear by, and I think are, one of them is absolute essential, well, it's a yellow filter and a red filter. A yellow filter I think is absolutely essential, and I keep it. Oh, I've got the red filter on right now because I was doing some sky. I think the yellow filter is essential, and I keep it on my lens all of the time, because a yellow filter will give you a little bit of contrast. If you've got blue sky, etc., it's just going to give a little bit of contrast in the clouds, make that blue a little bit darker, but not too much. And more importantly, if you're photographing people in the shot, it just makes their skin tones a little bit lighter. So, well, as I said, red is on here right now because I'm doing sort of seascape stuff with lots of blue sky and fluffy clouds. And a red filter is really great for that, because it makes the blue really dark, gives you a lot of contrast. Anything red or orange, it's going to lighten quite a bit. That's it though. I mean, you can get orange and green and purple, I think. Orange is obviously in between yellow and red. It's sort of not one thing or another. I don't see the point of that one. It's yellow and red and go home. Circular polarizers, I don't actually use them for black and white. Don't know why. I like reflections in black and white, I suppose. Yeah, so there endeth my thoughts about black and white photography. I'm not sure that helped, actually. Maybe I shouldn't do these. I should talk about Dover next time. Not that I want to come back, really. Anyway, let's go and have another look around and see if we can muster up some photos, a little set of photos that show the seafront in Dover. So my mini guide section of this video, quickly, is the further you walk towards the docks, the less interesting it is, and all the action is up by the marina end. It seems they've done a lot of renovations, a lot of updating around here. And there's also some old buildings as well as modern structures. So I think this is where all the interest is. I'm running out of time now. All my ranting has lost me time. So I'm gonna spend about half an hour or so around here to see if I can grab a few shots before I go and find the bus home. Well, I've found my favourite shot of the day, and that's the shot that's behind me there, of the castle in the background and these lampposts with the bunting. I just find that a really pleasant shot. The bunting sort of frames the castle nicely. There's a little bit of sunlight on the castle. Yeah, that was definitely the best shot of the day, I think. But another 20 minutes left, so we may be lucky yet again. If I was going to find one photo that sums up Dover seafront, I think I've just found it. We've got the old and the new. We've got the marina with all the nice new yachts, and we've got Dover Castle in the background. I think, well, in the mid, we've got those ugly 1960s buildings in there as well, but we can pretend we don't see those. I think that's about the best shot I'm going to get to sum up Dover in 2023. Well, there is yet another shop. This one is maybe even better than the last one because we've got a leading line from the marina going right up to the castle, and right now there's some storm clouds coming, so the sky is getting really dark and intense. Well, unfortunately it's time to go home, so a bit disappointed really because we've got some amazing weather coming up here. It's going to be quite dramatic a little bit later on. I think there's thunderstorms forecast. I'm going to miss it. But it was a great few hours this afternoon. Excuse the ranting. I don't like doing those sort of lists and things. Certainly not in this format of video. So apologies for that. I will promise I will work harder at that next time. So thanks for watching. If you made it all the way through, coming up is my little set of photos that show Dover seafront and through my eyes from the past couple of hours this afternoon. So thanks for watching and see you soon.